Good morning, Patriots. JT here, Serenity Farms prepping with some analysis on the failed Trump assassination attempt. I waited a few days to try and get more information. I don't care about being first. I care about being correct. And always wait at least 24 hours, 48, even more, even at what I tell you today, that some of it's likely to change as more evidence comes out. But I'm going to focus today on the seeming collusion, corruption, and or incompetence of the Secret Service and how and why it occurred. All right, so the Secret Service is under the leadership of the DOJ. Who runs the DOJ? Correct. The same treasonous scumbag that has coordinated the open border illegal scumbag military age man invasion of America. Yep. Same one. Dual Israeli U.S. citizen, Cuban-born, loyalties to anyone but America. Mayorkas. Okay, so that's pretty much all you need to know. But it's being reported by many credible sources that Trump and his team had requested security for family members and all their homes, his immediate team, and more for himself. Not only were those requests refused, but after some of those requests, some of his security was reduced and others were completely eliminated. And of course, we know the Democrats actually tried to pass a bill to eliminate all Trump's security because he was a convicted felon. Oh, and the judge threw out the Jack Smith traitor document crap. Said Smith's appointment was unconstitutional. She didn't have to go anywhere else because that was enough. I wish she would have come out and talked about the corruption and all that stuff, but whatever. That's gone. All right, moving on. So, in 2022, pedophile in chief appointed a DEI hire to head up the Secret Service. Her name is Kimberly Cheadle. One would assume that she was very likely a political figure for a couple years, maybe even a Secret Service agent herself, definitely involved in law enforcement before joining the Democrat regime, maybe even some military experience. Au contraire, she ran Pepsi, the crap soda. That's her experience, Pepsi. To run the Secret Service agency. One of her first statements after being appointed was that she would make sure that the agency was at least 30% female employees. I don't know if you saw the video of that one highly trained female employee struggling for a minute to remember where her frickin' holster was. What was she, like 5'4"? Nothing against women. I love women. But men are better qualified for certain jobs. It's the way nature made the two genders for a specific reason. Men protect and provide. Let's not get into that. That's a different debate, but it factors into the overall clown circus the Democrat regime has become, with every department being headed up by a DEI trans idiot, treasonous scumbag. All right, so did she issue stand down orders or orders of that magnitude that would lead agents to either be afraid to do their job because they would get fired, or they were in on it? In this particular case, whether you were simply incompetent or a traitor matters not to me. You deserve the same punishment. Okay? When I was in law enforcement, I had to follow orders. Because no matter how high you are in rank, there's always someone above you. So sometimes I would get orders that I knew from being the everyday officer in my position that just weren't going to work in this particular situation. I had authority to refuse what I would deem an unlawful order. I could do that instantly in severe, happening right now circumstances. But I never had any of those. I would have a new supervisor that was either working overtime or swapping with my other supervisor, or someone called in sick, whatever. But that would come up, having never worked where I did, my unit, before, and tell me how we were going to do things for a day. And I would say, with all due respect, sir, I've done it this way for 5, 6, 8 years, and this works. I know these individuals. I've dealt with them many times. I'm going to make your day easy. Go sit over there, have a coffee, and watch us in action. If they insisted on doing it their way, I would make a notation in my logbook that per order of Sergeant, Lieutenant, Captain, so-and-so, this is what we are doing. 99 times out of 100, after explaining the situation to the supervisors, most who really just wanted to cruise through the day and get their check anyway, and the least amount of trouble you can have in certain situations, the better. But if you are a good supervisor, then you are not too pride-filled, your rank in your head to listen to advice, suggestions. You don't always have to agree with them. You could say, okay, I understand what you're talking about, but we're going to do it this, whatever. But it didn't happen. And I'm not saying you're a good supervisor just because you always change your mind and did it my way. I'm saying you're a good supervisor because at least you would listen to my thoughts, opinions, and prior experience on something. So these counter snipers, we don't know yet, although there is supposedly a post from one of them who says they were told to stand down. Now begs the question, why did you? You clearly knew it wasn't a team member. You watched him for 3 minutes. You know it wasn't. Y'all got earbuds. You called every other team member. Is this you? Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Everyone checks in. It's not you. Boom! If someone went up on that roof, they put themselves in a position to be taken down. Someone said, well, what if it was a reporter with a big camera? And so a reporter gets a ladder. Yeah, they might. several civilian witnesses clearly pointed out a person with a rifle strapped to their back climbing up on the roof and then military crawling across the roof. You've already called all your team members as this guy's climbing up the ladder. It's none of you. If that is a team member and for some reason they are not answering, oh, it's going to suck to be them. Wasn't dressed the same. You have to take the shot. If you don't, and you didn't until after the person was allowed to take a few shots, imagine if you're worried about losing your job because you might have shot someone who was innocent but stupid enough to be somewhere they weren't supposed to be. You were worried about being fired. Imagine what you would feel had this plan went through as obviously planned. All right, now, I think this also explains the entire incident of the 13th. I think it also explains why the last few days after the debate, Pedo Joe was seemingly very confident and defiant of his own party, seemingly, to step aside because he knew what was coming. And by knowing what was coming, he knew he wouldn't have to step aside because there's no one on the scene that is Trump or at this point can carry his red tie or briefcase. And they could have cheated, blah, 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 did whatever they're going to do, and likely got away with it again. So there is a couple very good videos out there, podcasts, that describe a scenario that Trump gets assassinated, then Pedo Joe. He's easy to replace. We can name off 6, 7 people like nothing. Then we have no one, so to speak. We could throw in a DeSantis or a Flynn or somebody else, but they're not Trump. Whereas, so then they could have their mass chaos. They would blame the Biden issue on MAGA people, revenge, and when of course it was all their cronies dressed up in their matching khakis and or somebody in a Trump outfit, whatever. You know how it would have went. You know what would have occurred after the war, the everything they wanted. Then they could shut it all down, confiscate all the guns, everything they've always planned on doing, and there would never be another election again. But it all got thwarted because Mayorkas had to be afraid of what's coming when Trump gets reinstalled. And everyone that's connected to him, because the shit might go uphill, but when it reaches the top, it's rolling down and it's taking everybody with it. If Trump does what he has promised this time. So, rest assured, though, because the FBI and the Secret Service are going to work together on this in a dual team effort to get to the bottom of it. If that doesn't make you feel warm and fuzzy all over in your belly, I don't know what's gonna. But I will keep you updated with the real story. So don't be going watch fake news and all that stupid crap. But for now, let's thank God that it was a failed attempt. Let's hope Trump's resolve is stronger than ever. Let's hope by the time of this recording that he has chosen a good candidate for BP and not some of the dumbass names I'm hearing, and that he actually does everything he said when he's reelected. All right, for now, JT, signing out.